All right, so here we are, December 5th, 2023, announcement that Vans has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So instead of complaining and pushing more answers than what we have, here's our checklist on things that we're concerned about and I think most builders are concerned about. So first and foremost is people who have deposits down on existing kits. What is Van saying about that?
They're basically saying your deposit is not going anywhere, but it'll be put towards the kit at a higher price.
Yep. So in the next 7 to 10 days, we're expecting an email with our options, which basically...
We don't know what the options are yet.
Yeah. My take on this is they're canceling the terms of service that we ordered and placed that deposit down. So we're canceling that order and purchasing a new kit with new terms of
prices.
And new prices. So we'll see what that means. What does that mean for us in matter of timing? They did say that although they will try to respect how long you've been waiting and get the oldest ones out first, it's going to be whatever can be shipped soonest that they can collect money on, because they need to be very cash flow focused right now. I understand that, but hopefully the stars align and our finished kit ships soon. How much of an increase are we looking at? 10% more, 20% more, 30% more? I think 30% is really the starting place of what we expect.
There's lots of rumors out there, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
We have no new information. So we're just really regurgitating what's already been said, but applying it to us. So kits. So whether you have a tail kit, a wing kit, a fuse kit, or a finish kit, if you have that deposit on there, it looks like that money is still going to be used towards the new price, but you're going to have to increase your budget a little bit because it's going to cost you a little bit more. Thankfully, it's just the finish kit for us, which is not a cheap kit, but
at least it's one and not four.
At least we got the other 3 kits done. Deposits on engines and props. So if you have a deposit down on an engine or a prop, what do we expect there?
Well, the answer across the board is we don't know yet.
So a friend of ours did contact Lycoming today and got a what I actually think is an appropriate response for the situation we're in. Is we're sifting through all the events and working with Vans to figure out what the next step is. So it was a non-answer, but it's better than a instant we got a problem answer. So some hope there. We do have... We have heard that when we have placed our deposit on the engine, that money has gone to Vans and remains with Vans and has not gone to Lycoming. So that could create a problem. So if Vans isn't liquid enough to forward that deposit on to Lycoming when our engine's ready, that could be a challenge. So
no, that will be a challenge.
Yep.
Considering the cost of engines these days. And as a lot of you know that follow us, we put in our order right before the, was it 2022 engine increase?
Yep. So it's been 18 months that we've had this.
2022. Okay.
It's been 18 months.
Okay.
And so we're seeing enough signs that Vans is trying to respect the deposits that are already put in place. The whole price increase thing, we hope is not applied to the engine, because it's Lycoming hasn't changed their price, and they were still going to honor the price. It's frustrating with the engine. We've got friends who have fully paid for their engine and are waiting for it to be basically shipped, and we just need some more time to see what ends up happening there. I will say every step of the way, Vans has needed to be what is right for business and cash flow, but has been doing everything in their power to respect the money that's already been spent and trying to minimize the impact on builders as much as possible. We all want it to be less impactful than it is, but that's just not Vans can't do that and stay in business.
Yeah.
So kits, props and engines, laser cut parts.
They didn't really address all the questions that we still have with laser cut parts.
There's still the 800-pound gorilla standing in the room. Laser cut parts and a quick build. What's your plan there? It's I don't even want to touch that one right now.
No, we're not.
But they did say multiple times that the laser cut replacement part program is something that will continue on with throughout this process. It needs to happen in parallel because obviously replacing the mandatory laser cut parts free of cost is not generating revenue for vans. They need to be doing as much other activity that does generate revenue at the same time. I don't think that most of the laser cut part affected builders are going to be ecstatic over the results of it, but at least you should expect support and some help with laser cut parts. We still don't have any official laser cut parts on the request list. I don't see anything that we're affected with that we can replace. If it is, it's the red ones that they say they'll come out with a plan later. But we did reorganize the garage. You notice there's no fuselage in our garage anymore.
Where'd it go?
Oh, they filed for bankruptcy, so we just threw it in the dumpster, right? We don't need it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So we did move our fuselage to a storage unit where it's going to sit and chill for a little while. And now we made room so that we can start working on our quick build wings, do a full assessment, and get started on that. So, Millie, you're going to start on the wings. You ready? Yeah.
I think she's
she'll wake
dreaming flying right now.
Yeah, she'll wake up from her nap by the time it's time to fly the airplane. So laser cut parts is still a big issue. Quick build kits with laser cut parts, maybe some of the parts that you can easily get to. I know people are saying, oh, if I have to drill out some skins, I'm going to damage things. It's like, I don't believe in that. If we have to just remove some skins and drill out some rivets and replace a couple parts and it's relatively accessible, I have no problems with that. That's well within expectation. We're builders. We're going to have to remove skins at some point in our airplane's life anyway, so just start practicing. If you can't remove a skin without doing significant damage, please go back to your practice kits and practice that many times before you do it on your aircraft.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Snotty.
Just got to be honest here. Because expecting vans to send somebody out and do it for you or just wholesale replace the whole thing.
Can they send Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin's going to do a road tour, and he's going to go and replace all these. That could be interesting. I'd actually pay money for that.
Yeah.
So we got that. There's just general parts on order. I think any parts that they have in stock will be in their best interest to collect money and ship them as quick as possible, as that generates cash flow. So things that generate cash flow for vans will be priority. My other favorite thing I've been seeing on the social media is, what does this mean for the RV-15?
What?
Yep.
What RV-15? Never heard of such a thing. Oh, there it is. Bye.
Yeah. So, and I love the dichotomy of opinions on this, because a lot of people say, I think generally speaking, no one thinks the RV-15 is dead.
They can start taking deposits for the RV-15 and that'll give them all the money they need.
Yeah. I think they're, have learned from their ways that that's not the right way to do it. Oh. But the one opinion, I mean, obviously it's going to be on pause for a long period of time until things recover, then they'll get back to it, I think is a very reasonable opinion. The other thing is like, well, it is just like Melissa was thinking, a way to generate revenue. It's like, let's start collecting deposits and shipping these kits out. I think what most people who think that neglect to understand is vans is most likely millions of dollars away from having anything that resembles a protection kit ready. So, I put in a deposit down for that, just exacerbates the problem. Yeah, I can speak English. Makes the problem worse. I'll refud that. will make the problem worse because now here's a big chunk of money they received. It helps them in the short term. Then it comes time to produce the parts. They don't have the funds to do that.
Yeah.
So
we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. I get it.
So to finish the R&D to take the fancy prototype, which let's be honest, that prototype is a great airplane and they've learned a lot from it. But that airplane as is won't last as long as a Vans aircraft is expected to. They have engineering changes to make. They've learned a lot. They've got to implement those changes. It was put together for the purpose of learning, not for the purpose of a long-lived flying airplane. So, I'm making up numbers here. I have no inside information, but there's significant amount of cash required to get the RV-15 project to a point where they could start collecting deposits and shipping kits. If they could get there soon, safely, now we've learned you rush it, it's not safe, bad things happen, so getting there, rushing it is worse than anything. Once they do get there, it will be a huge cash injection to the company because there's a lot of people that will pay money for it. So I think the RV-15 is your solution to this. You're going to have to be patient, is my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
well, main concern for us is our engine.
The engine is, I went to bed last night not really worried about my engine. I was worried about the finish kit.
And unfortunately, this gal decided, I've been asleep for a few hours. It's time to wake up and eat again. And I rolled over and checked my phone. There's the video. I'm like, the Vans posted an update. And there's all Ken's sleep.
2:00 in the morning watching the Vans video. It's heartbreaking. I'm not a financial expert, but I do feel Chapter 11 is...
it's better than some of the
it's
others.
better than Chapter 7. But, it protects their debt and helps them use their liabilities to save the company. And unfortunately, our deposit on our engine is one of those liabilities that it's going to be up to the court to say, where does that deposit go now?
It's a lot of money.
I know Vans Aircraft has a long history of doing the right thing for us builders, so I have no reason to expect they won't do everything in their power to do the right thing in this case too. So we're just going to have to see. So it's the engine. Worst case scenario is we lose our deposit. We have to buy a whole new engine. I don't think we'll ever lose our place in line because Lycoming needs to get these engines out.
Right, but are we going to lose our price lock?
Yeah, so we're going to have, in that worst case scenarios, we buy the engine for a lot more money than we did. Plus, we lost our deposit, so it turns it into a very expensive engine. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Lycoming will.
They are a business too. They got to make money.
They got to get their money to produce that engine. They can't. They can't give it to us or pay us to take the engine by.
They could.
Money. Yeah, they could.
If they wanted to.
We got your banner hanging. Lycoming. We'll take a sponsorship, but no, we don't want that. So we'll see. So we are dragging our feet on the engine, dragging the feet on finalizing our avionics. No sense in having avionics show up before a finish kit. Our next milestone is understanding when we will get the finish kit. So I'm expecting 7 to 10 days we'll get some options. I hope those options come with a timeline. Now, if
we all know how Vans timelines work.
Yeah, I fear that they are going to tell us the new price and want full payment. And if that's true, my question is, I need to know that the parts in that kit are readily available and on the way to us before I make full payment. And how much of a back order situation are we in? For us, the critical parts in the finished kit, it's the engine mount, the canopy, and the landing gear. Notice we did not include the cowl. There are other ways to get cowls other than the one.
It'd be nice if we could just get those.
Would much prefer to go with Vans cowl, but we could go with some of the aftermarket cowl, so it's not critical for us. If we can pay money relatively soon to get those critical parts. We'll accept other things on back order, but I don't think any of those three things we could accept on back order right now, given the climate, without some real hardcore assurances of when we're going to get it. Because I know it's tough, but we want to help fans. We want to be optimistic and positive, but we got to do what's right for us. The fact the finished kit's going to cost us at least 30% more, that's my number. It could be 10%. They could be nice and say, we're going to honor the original price. I don't think that's going to, they pretty much said that's not going to happen. Could be 50% more. We've got the cash set aside to finish this build.
As is.
As the original prices. We've got a little wiggle room to cover like some increases. But if our engine costs $20,000 to $30,000 more,
just had a baby.
We just had a baby. You know, we're going to be...
She needs things.
We're going to be turning this channel into GoFundMe. Go fund our airplanes. No, we don't do this for money. Or I mean, we can make it work, but it's going to drag out how long it takes us to complete this, because I don't want to go into credit to finish this airplane.
No.
We
had a plan.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, well, it'll just take us a year to supplement that cash to make it work. But the other thing is, if we get the opportunity to get the thing now guaranteed, we want to move on it. So it's going to be hard decisions coming up on what all of us builders do. Vans, thank you for being the best that you can be. Thank you for taking the hard choices to stay in business, because I've said it before, general aviation needs Vans aircraft. This is hard. My advice is, us builders hang on every word that is published by Vans. As soon as it's funny, I didn't want to produce this video because we have nothing new to say.
Because we don't know anything.
But it's like, as soon as Vans says this, we read the words, we interpret it, we debate them on social media.
Between each other.
It's really not the most healthy thing. I tried not to contribute too much to that because it is a challenge. So my advice to Vans is update frequently. You've got several categories of updates that people need. Please continue to refine your messaging as it evolves as quickly as possible. The financial crisis video, a long silent period, and then this Chapter 11 video. I know Vans addressed it in the video of it took longer than you expected, but that is difficult for us builders. So please answer our questions and try to get that information out as quick as possible of how we're going to solve these categories of problems.
And I know for Vans, they're probably still trying to figure it out too.
They are. And also now there's going to be a new slowdown while they submit the plan to the courts, and the courts are going to have to rule on what
they can do,
what they can or can't do. That's the point of Chapter 11. I trust the turnaround experts that they've brought in. Well, I don't trust them. I just don't. I can't.
You have nothing.
I got to take what he says at face value, that many companies successfully come out of this, and that they're confident Vans will come out of this. It's going to cost us more money. Vans, for those of you who are almost finishing your airplane, congratulations. You just got to increase in value on your plane as long as you are safe on laser cut parts.
Yeah.
Which for us, I mean, we have no intention of ever selling this airplane, but it's nice to know it's worth more, except for it's going to suck when it comes to insure it, because that's going to cost more to insure. But, if we ever do need to take a loan out on, the airplane as collateral, it's more value that we have for it. So we can keep the plane and turn it into cash. We never want to do that, but it is a possibility. So keep building. That's our plan, is to kind of bury our head. We will start reaching out to Lycoming and Vans here in the weeks to come after the dust settles a little bit, to see if we can find out some more specifics to our build. And if there's anything that we can share from that, we will. We do not use any inside relationships to get inside information and publish it on the channel. That's just not we're not a journalism channel, sorry.
But I do love how our phone was blowing up this morning.
Yes, several of our friends.
All of our friends were like, what's going on? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh, guys, we just woke up. We only had 2 diaper changes. I don't know anything.
Yeah. So we're going to distract ourselves by digging into the wings and spend the next month or two getting our quick build wings flight ready, so that then we can bring the fuselage back, hopefully about the time a finished kit is inbound to us. And we do have some piddly little detail work to still do in the fuselage kit while we wait, but we just lost motivation doing that kind of work. I'm excited to get back to whole pages of steps that we work on again. So we're going to distract ourselves by doing that and go from there. So thank you for watching 14 Victor Echo.
See you next time.